How's it going, Arthur? You good?
Yes, sir. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good, thank you. All right, let's start by your age, location, and how you got introduced to the real world.
So, I'm Arthur. I am 20 years old. I live in Germany and I've joined the real world. It was, yeah, close to 1.5 years ago already. Yeah.
Okay, and what was it that brought you to the real world? Why did you decide to join the school?
Well, honestly, I've always found myself kind of really identifying myself with what Andrew Tate was preaching about. I think 2 years ago, I started following him. And of course, the Tate marketing, it gets to you. I mean, it's one of the best marketing systems out there. So eventually I just, I took the action step since, it was just $50. So you
Fair.
can't really go wrong with that.
Do you know what? I always say this because I get questions about Andrew all the time. And I'm like, people don't realize that we literally started in a box room in the garden. And he literally used to sit there and be like, how can I make this work? I genuinely think he's one of the greatest marketing minds of this generation. Like, undoubtedly. Like, if you think about what he's come from with, and when I tell you zero help, it's not like
Mhm.
he was given a loan or anything. He used to literally sit there and devise ways in which he can, like, elevate and elevate and elevate. And then, so when he told me he was creating a school for, like, people to be able to do the same, bro. I was just, it's like a breath of fresh air, honestly. So even just to hear someone like yourself to listen to him and can identify that, and then they
Mhm.
decide to apply for it, we actually love to hear that, man. It's just so dope. It's so cool. It's so
I
cool.
mean, it's undoubtedly the most valuable, kind of course, I guess, as a whole that you can buy out there. I know guys that go ahead and buy let's say a course on crypto for like $200 a month. And if you look at the real world, you're getting, not only that for $50, but also you got a competitive community around you that just, keeps you accountable. You've got the fitness campus, you've got the business mastery campus. It's full of value and there is value for anybody. I mean, no matter if you're already a businessman who has been in business for like 10 years, 20 years, you will find some value in there. Like it doesn't matter. It's $50 and you will get an ROI on your investment.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? The price has actually risen now. So for you
Mhm.
yourself, because obviously you've been a member from before, it's grandfathered in at 50 for you. But for the new people that come in now, it's 100. But the reason they're doing that is because some of the stuff that they add into the school is amazing. The fact that you can like learn something on a campus or whatever course you do and directly get work within the real world now. So he's gonna have like a leaderboard in which like they're actually hiring people from the school now. So you can go from literally student to being hired, like
Mhm.
he's trying to
That's
create
actually
something.
crazy.
Yeah, it's literally unheard of. And even like when people say like $100 for all of that, like when you think about what a college cost, college is like for 3 years here in the UK. I think it's like 27K. Like, bro, it's so
That's
what you're getting,
insane.
and that's people teaching off of theory. That's not even someone who's
Mhm.
teaching from an experience environment that they're currently in. This is people who just read a textbook and then telling you the theories of business or
Yeah.
finance or whatever you're studying. Whereas this is
Mhm.
actual people in the market currently telling you the up to date ways in which you can make money today, now, applied now. So what he's offering is literally invaluable, and I think throughout time people will start to realize. But I'm glad that you saw it early, man. I'm glad.
Mhm.
I'm glad. So what campus did you end up leaning towards when you joined? And why?
Well, initially, I started out in the copywriting campus, and I've been drawn to it, I guess, purely because I knew that I wanted to do something along the, lines of marketing.
Yeah.
And I guess the copywriting campus, when I started out, just gave me like an overall base knowledge of it. But then when I actually gone ahead and, tried to make some money by getting clients, I ended up sitting down with a guy. I met him in real life. He's been one guy that also helped me with some fitness stuff back then.
Yeah.
And I realized quite quickly that I have all this knowledge now, like very base level knowledge about marketing. But if I want to give him something valuable that he is going to pay me on a monthly basis on, I need to niche down a little bit.
Yeah,
If I would go up to a business and say, all right, I will do marketing for you, they would probably laugh at me because there is, not a single skill I can offer them.
yeah.
Because back
Too
then I
broad.
actually didn't understand that copywriting is an actual skill, but rather I thought, all right, copywriting means marketing. And I think also that's something a lot of people get wrong. But I guess it was on my fault back then. And then when I actually, sit down and decided to pick a service for myself, I've come across content creation plus AI, and I've been in there ever since.
Yeah. AI is like the new thing. It's amazing what they can do with AI now. And that's another thing I like about the campus that is again up to date information. So as
Hmm.
AI is going to be like, it's just the way it's going to evolve. There's not going to be a point where you're not learning new things. And I think with a school like this, the the retaining value is that it's constantly updating. It's not just like, okay, you learn it, like you can buy a course, right? And it can just
Yeah.
teach you to do one thing and then that's it. That's the
Hmm.
course finished. Whereas here it's constant, like, okay, you've learned this, now here's step 4, here's step 5, here's step 1000. Like it will just
Hmm.
continuously grow because they want to create masters in the field. That's what they want to do. That's the aim.
Definitely. I mean, especially looking at AI, if let's say you don't update a course on, we can even take something as simple as, ChatGPT. Over the last year, I think ChatGPT has evolved so much that if you would have just the information about ChatGPT from a year ago, you would be like completely behind on what it's capable right now, It's like the perfect example.
100%. So how do you merge the AI and the what's the other course you do? The AI and the social media.
Content creation, content
Content creation.
creation. Well, basically, since I do not only offer the content creation as well, so like video editing, but
Yeah,
also of course script writing, um, you need to leverage certain AIs when it comes to script writing. And
yeah,
you don't just go ahead and plug in a prompt and have it spit it out a full script, but you rather take inspiration from it. That's the way I go about it
yeah,
pretty much all of the time. So I've got my base level information or let's say details I would like the script to have that I'm building a video on. And then I go ahead, I plug it into ChatGPT and I take inspiration from that because it pretty much always ends up in me not only having a script which sounds better, it flows better, but it of course also sells better. And that's where most of my value comes from. So I edit the videos, I create the scripts, and the scripts are with the AI part.
yeah. So how was you able to get your first client? Like from what was it you had to do to lock in your first client after joining the real world?
Mhm. So in the copywriting campus, they always teach the method of, all right, just go out to somebody that um, basically, the guy more or less, and you just go ahead and ask him, hey, do you by any chance know a guy that would need service being X, Y, and Z?
Yeah,
And, you get a referral most of the time. um that's how I ended up kind of starting to working with the first guy, but I didn't get paid because he kind of left me because I actually didn't manage to deliver any value back then, which was a valuable lesson to learn. But in terms of me getting the first client, it's actually a very interesting story, since there's been a guy that I've known from about 4 years ago, and
yeah,
he's been kind of following me along on social media pretty much all of the time, and he came across some of my content creation that I did. And
yeah,
he actually reached out to me and said, hey, I've got a guy that looks for a service like you do. So I guess in terms of narrowing it down to how I actually managed to secure the first client was that I just kind of showed my work, what I do on the internet.
yeah,
And then from there on, when it comes to getting the second, third, and fourth client, it was all by the methods that Pope teaches in CC plus AI. So you go ahead, you create a free value for a client,
Yeah.
You send them over to them and you get them on a sales call. That's the most effective way. I feel like what is the best way to go about getting new clients? It's, I think, definitely leading with free value. Because if you present something valuable from the beginning on, and then you jump on a call with somebody, they are so much more likely to not
Yeah.
only trust you, but they also already know that you are more or less competent in the field because you've presented them something of value already.
Yeah, and you've already identified something that they need. Like if you, the fact that we're on the call, I've identified something that you need that I can do.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, that's amazing. So have you made money in the real world?
Yes, so far I've made a total of $12,176. So, coming
No,
from a more or
it is.
less young age, that's
I love it. I love to hear these things because a lot of people think that this is like a get rich quick scheme, and I always say it's nothing to do with that. It's about learning the skill and being able to apply it in the marketplace today, like right now. So when I hear you say like, okay, you've made money and blah blah blah, like we love to hear that because it's music to our ears because this is what we built the platform for. It's to allow young men like yourselves or even young females themselves to escape the matrix, as we like to say, escape a system where you're being locked down into something and you're working for someone else's time. Right now, you're working for your own time. So you're your boss. You decide how far you move forward and how fast you move forward, the quality of your work. It's all on you. And that's what we want to do. It's
exactly.
give people their responsibility back. And
Mm.
also their time and their effort is based on you as a person. So we love to hear that. And how long have you said you've been in the real world for?
It's been 1.5 years almost, but starting to earn money, it began pretty much, I think, 8 months ago. And I think also another thing that people don't realize is that um, I think that's a saying that Pope always says. You're always one client away from really like changing your life. So, on one day you could be here in terms of earning, and then on another day you could have closed a really good, well-paying client, and your life just completely changes. And that's what pretty much happened to me. Although, from client to client, it didn't kind of the amount of money I was earning didn't increase by a huge margin from client, but I just managed to onboard many clients, which of course ended up in me being, able to earn more money overall. And it kind of exponential, let's put it that way.
So what was the difference? So you said it roughly 8 months ago is when you started to make some real money. Like
Mhm.
what was the game changer for you? What was the thing that took you over the edges to start bringing in money that you could see that you could like, okay, now I'm in the game.
Mhm. To be fair, to point it down, it is I stopped being arrogant in a sense that I thought I knew that I was doing, in a sense of that um I was I wasn't really following the lessons along very, very closely. But then I actually, I sat down. I remember back then it was the Performance Creator Bootcamp in CC plus AI, and just I followed it step by step. No going left, no going right, just straightforward following along the lessons. And
Yeah.
I feel like it took maybe a total of 1 month until I managed to close a client following the exact steps that are outlined in the lessons.
Okay, so roughly when you started like locking in, like a month after that is when you made your first
Exactly.
almost, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what you said there is very true. Sometimes as well as people, we have to get out of our own way. Because it's
Exactly.
very
Yeah.
it's very easy to think we know it all. Or now I know this bit, and then you try to freestyle the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just follow directions as given, complete it, and then like build later on. You can build your own systems, but first of all, let me first lock in the foundations. You have to lock in the bits that matter at the beginning first. It's very easy to veer off. "Oh, I know this bit now, and I can do this," because we
Mm-hmm.
do get that. We get misplacent, and we get cocky, and we think that we know it all. Sometimes you got to humble yourself, get out your own way, buckle down, lock in, do exactly as told, as your signals are told, and just especially
Mm-hmm.
in like the financial world, where like a lot of people we have the conversations we were talking about crypto. That's another thing they'll do. They'll start to learn a little bit, and then they think they know it all, and then it will all come down, and then they have to come back and say, okay, like where did I go wrong? You know.
Yeah.
But it's very good. That's very good character building and to see from you and development from yourself. That's amazing. And the fact that you can identify a lot of people can't identify that. They're not able to sit back and self-reflect and be like, oh, do you know what? Maybe I'm the problem. And that's one of the things you'll notice that a lot of the professors in the school teach, like everything is up to you. You're responsible for you. That I can tell you how to do something, but for you to do it is up to you. We're not responsible for you doing it. We're responsible for giving you the information, and you're responsible for applying.
That's right.
So yeah, it's I'm happy to hear you say that. So how old are you again?
20.
20. So you're quite you're pretty young. Do you feel like if you would have joined the real world earlier, it would have been more beneficial to you?
Of course, I mean, there are plenty of example in the real world where students are 14, 15, 16 years old. And if I would, started 2 or 3 years ago, I'm sure I would have been much further ahead. And I mean, it wasn't even a question of, finances in this case, since, let's be honest, if you're a 15, 16-year-old, somehow you should be able to get like $50 a month to invest in yourself, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
I mean, point down, it's like, all right, do I go ahead and eat out 2 times less in a month and therefore get access to something that's going to build value in myself and, build my future actually? Or do I go ahead and, spend it on garbage?
yeah. No, it's true. And the thing is, people don't understand the amount of rubbish that you buy. Like
Yeah.
you can spend $50 on a pizza. You can spend $100 on two pizzas. Like it's two
Mhm.
times, like you said, it's 2 times a month. I'm gonna not do something just so I can invest in myself, and that's the important part. It is the investing in yourself bit that people need to understand. And this isn't like a get rich quick scheme. It's something you have to apply for and apply yourself to. Take your
Mhm.
time out to make sure that you're successful. And that's what I was talking about earlier about the responsibilities up to you.
Mhm. Always. Always.
So, how do you find the community within the school? Helpful, or are you quite?
Honestly, I feel like it's one of the reasons why the real world is so successful. As I
Yeah,
said, it's a competitive environment which, teaches you to be accountable. I mean, in the CC plus AI campus alone, we've got a thing that is a daily power journal where you basically each day you go ahead and you write why you would feel powerful today. And that just kind of keeps you build a system around today. That's, if we take a step back and talk about systems again and developing kind of successful routines for yourself. One of them, for example, being feedback loops. I mean, you must have the ability to, sit down at the end of the day and write out what could have been better, where
yeah,
you could have made some improvements in comparison to yesterday. And so the overall community in the real world allows you to, stay accountable. You always got people around you that know more than you, and you talk to them on a daily basis. I mean, even the professors, Pope, he's behind one of the most successful, I guess, marketings in the world, and you have the ability to learn from him and also from the people around him. So it's
bro.
incredibly
That
beneficial.
that that is the definition of advancing as a person. Literally being able to look at, okay, how can I be better than I was today? How can I do better tomorrow than I did today? Like finding the small gaps and the small things that you've done wrong and continuously rectifying, continuously sharpening, and continuously applying. Bro, that's how you develop as a person. That's how you build your empire. It's brick by brick, literally. You build it brick by brick, and you keep building, 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 building until you have this amazing empire or castle or whatever you're trying to build. So that's good. That seems like you've learned some very valuable lessons in there, which we love to hear. So
Of
what
course.
message would you give to people who are skeptical of whether they should join the real world and they're hesitant or they're uncertain? What would be your final message to them?
Well, to put it very simple, baseline, there is no place which will offer you more value for your money than the real world. The sooner you join, the sooner you'll succeed, the sooner you will reach your overarching goal. It's that simple.
Amazing. Thank you. And I appreciate you for coming on today, man. You've been absolutely amazing. And again, the team's happy to see that we're able to help young men like yourself learn, be able to apply and make money for yourself and put yourself in a position of success. And we're very proud that we're part of that journey for you. And we look forward to seeing you do even greater things in the future.
I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you, my guy. Peace.